Hello, hello, good evening. Hey, Elena and family. It's really kind of loud and busy where I'm at tonight, so you may hear a lot of background information or people talking and stuff. I can see people playing tennis and basketball and riding bikes, and I've got a couple stair walkers by me going up and down these stairways. My legs are just burning watching them, and I can hardly catch my breath with how many times they've gone up and down the steps. I'm definitely glad I'm not walking with them, but beautiful night at least. That's good. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Hello, Gervolds. I wish you guys could see Aiden. He'll come talk to us at the end, but he's running around and having a blast. Sympathy pains for the walkers, is that what you're saying? Hey, Rita and Jim, hi! Fun to have you join us tonight. We've got a few more minutes. We'll wait for everybody else to get logged in. So I seriously don't have any idea how many times this young lady has gone up and down these steps. I would say at least 15 times since I've been here. So I'm so impressed. Got a couple more minutes. Well, Rita, that's a good question. I'll tell you all about it when I get a minute. We're playing a little game this summer during the Wednesday night services. You have to guess where I'm at. And when you guess, you call in or email me your guess of where you're at, and then we draw for a prize at the end of the summer term. Here for him, Aiden. We will start in a few minutes. We've got about another minute or so, and then we'll get going. In your hand. But go over back in the grass. Don't run. That walk. Hey, pick him up. Hey, Christy. Gary, if you're watching too, I see Mom and Dad are watching. Peg and Lyle, good to see ya. Okay, I'll give just a little information before we get started. If you're new to joining us on Wednesday nights at 7, we're doing Where's Michele? If you're wondering why I'm dressed as Waldo, of course, some people who are playing tennis are like, I think that's Waldo over there. Each Wednesday night, I go to a different location in the Fargo-Moorhead area, and you are encouraged to send in a guess, either by a phone number or by a voicemail or a text message to me or the church or whatever. If you go onto our website, the information and the phone numbers and all that kind of stuff are posted on the website, so you can do it that way to send that guess in. And we had a great response the first week. We didn't get very many responses last week, and that was an easy one because I was sitting right in front of a big bison. So obviously I was on the NDSU campus. So tonight, I'm going to move out of the way just for a second again. It's a giant concrete bleacher lake. If you go onto the website and look on the online service of tonight or the message for tonight, you'll see a better picture of it. If you have a guess, make sure you send it in. And even if it's not right, as long as you're guessing, you still get your name into the drawing, and we'd love to have you. And you do not have to be a member of either one of the churches, so just go ahead and send it in, and we'd love to put you in the drawing. So I think we'll start. I wrote this service. Remember, I always have to send them, do them a few days early so that I can send them out in the mail for those that are shut in and don't have internet and all that kind of stuff. So I actually wrote this little message tonight just after visiting with the funeral director as I was preparing for Marlis Dulam's funeral that happened on Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and stuff at the West Funeral Home. And then we went out to the Nora Cemetery and buried her there. And I sat there thinking how much I wished that I had more hours in the day, that I just had never got to connect with Marlis. I'd tried to visit her once, and when I got there, she was sleeping, and we never were able to connect after that. And then now with the COVID thing, it was just so hard to even connect with the family, to be able to find out some good stories about her and that kind of stuff. So it was the cemetery. The service was very, very nice, but it just wasn't the same when you don't get a chance to be hearing about their lives and that kind of stuff. So as I was getting done talking to the funeral director, then I started to look for a story, and I found one that I really enjoyed this week. In fact, it's something that I think I'm going to try to do myself, and after you hear this story, you'll probably understand why. The story is called Rest in Peace, The I Can't Funeral, and it's written by Dick Mormon. Okay, so here's the story. Donna's fourth grade classroom looked like many others I had seen in the past. Students sat in 5 rows or 6 desks, 5 rows of 6 desks. The teacher's desk was in the front and faced the students, much like all of our classrooms, I'm sure, were when we were kids. The bulletin board featured students' work. In most respects, it appeared to be a typical traditional elementary classroom, yet something seemed different that day. And I entered it for the first time. There seemed to be an undercurrent of excitement. Donna was a veteran small-town Michigan school teacher, only 2 years away from retirement. In addition, she was a volunteer participant in a county-wide development project I had organized and facilitated. The training focused on language arts ideas that would empower students to feel good about them and take charge of their lives. Donna's job was to attend training sessions and implement the concepts presented. My job was to make classroom visitations and encourage implementation. I took an empty seat in the back and watched. All the students were working on a task, filling a sheet of notebook paper with thoughts and ideas. The 10-year-old student closest to me was filling her page with I can'ts. I can't kick the soccer ball past second base. I can't do long division with more than 3 numbers. I can't get Debbie to like me. Her page was half full and she showed no signs of letting up. She worked on with determination and persistence. I walked down the row, glancing at students' papers, and everyone there was writing sentences describing things they couldn't do. I can't do 10 push-ups. I can't hit over the left field fence. I can't eat only 1 cookie. Boy, that sounds like me. By this time, the activity engaged my curiosity, so I decided to check with the teacher to see what was going on. As I approached her, I noticed that she too was busy writing, and I felt it best not to interrupt. I can't get John's mother to come in for a teacher conference, she wrote. Or I can't get my daughter to put gas in the car. Or I can't get Alan to use words instead of fists. Thwarted in my efforts to determine why students and teachers were dwelling on the negative instead of the positive I can't statements, I returned to my seat and continued my observations. Students wrote for 10 minutes. Most filled their entire page. Some started another page. Finish the one you're on and don't start a new one, were the instructions Donna used to signal the end of the activity. Students were then instructed to fold their papers in half and bring them to the front. Well, when students reached the desk, they placed their I can't statements into an empty shoebox. When all of the students' papers were collected, Donna added hers. She put the lid on the box, tucked it under her arm, and headed out the door and down the hall. Students followed the teacher, and I followed the students. Halfway down the hall, the procession stopped. Donna entered the custodian's room, rummaged around, and came out with a shovel. Shovel in one hand, shoebox in the other, Donna marched the students out of the school to the farthest corner of the playground. There they began to dig. They were going to bury their I can'ts. The digging took over 10 minutes because most of the fourth graders each wanted to take a turn. When the hole approached 3 feet deep, the digging ended. The box of I can'ts was placed at the bottom of the hole and quickly covered with dirt. 31 10 and 11-year-olds stood around the freshly dug gravesite. Each had at least one page full of I can'ts in that shoebox that was now 3 feet under. So did their teacher. At this point, Donna announced, "Boys and girls, please join hands and bow your heads." And the students complied. They quickly formed a circle around the grave, creating a bond with their hands. They lowered their heads and they waited, and Donna delivered the eulogy. "Friends, we gather today to honor the memory of I Can't. While he was with us here on earth, he touched the lives of everyone, some more than others. His name, unfortunately, has been spoken in every public building, schools, city halls, state capitals, and yes, even the White House. We have provided I Can't with a final resting place and headstone that contains his epitaph. He is survived by his brothers and sisters. I can, I will, and I'm going to right away. They are not as well known as their famous relative and are certainly not as strong and powerful yet. Perhaps someday with your help they will make an even bigger mark on the world. May I Can't rest in peace, and may everyone present pick up their lives and move forward in his absence. Amen." As I listened to the eulogy, I realized that these students would never forget this day. The activity was symbolic, a metaphor for life. It was a right brain experience that would stick to in the unconscious and conscious minds forever. Writing I Can'ts, bearing them, and hearing the eulogy, that was a major effort on the part of this teacher. And she wasn't done yet. At the conclusion of the eulogy, she turned the students around, marched them back into the classroom, and held a wake. They celebrated the passing of I Can't with cookies and popcorn and fruit juices, and Donna cut out a tombstone from butcher paper, and she wrote the words I Can't at the top and put R.I.P., rest in peace, in the middle, and the date was added at the bottom, 3/28/80. The paper tombstone hung in Donna's classroom for the remainder of the year. On those rare occasions when a student forgot and said, I can't, Donna simply pointed out to the sign, and the student then remembered that I can'ts were dead and chose to rephrase the statement. I wasn't one of Donna's students. She was one of mine. Yet that day I learned an enduring lesson from her. Now, years later, whenever I hear the phrase I can't, I see images of that 4th grade funeral. Like the students, I remember I Can't is dead. Isn't that a great story? So think about it. And Jim and Rita, quit putting where you're at. It's a surprise. You're supposed to guess. Don't put it on the Facebook page. All right, so think about it. There are so many things that we could be saying I can't to right now, and many of them can discourage and upset us. Like, I can't go hang out with my friends right now, or I can't have a graduation ceremony like others have had, or I can't have a wedding like I planned, or I can't have a funeral that allows everyone who wants to come and pay their respects, and I can't go to church at church right now, and I can't go visit someone who's shut in, or to the hospital, or to see someone who is lonely. There's lots of things that we can't do right now. So isn't this a wonderful idea of writing our can'ts down and putting them away? So many times I hear myself and others blocking an idea or a plan simply because we think that we can't. I am deathly afraid of heights. I am super scared. I mean, I don't even get on the roof of my little rambler house. That scares me half to death. That works for me, but it didn't work the time when my grandson really wanted to go to the Ferris wheel at the fair. I was terrified just thinking about it. I mean, we could get stuck on the top of that wheel, or we could be in one of the cars that falls off of the wheel, or we could have fallen out of the car and plummeted to the ground. Oh, how silly, right? I have always said I can't go on the Ferris wheel because I just didn't find the desire or the need to do so. Well, that changes when a loving grandson says, Grandma, I really want to go on the ride. And you know you are the only one there with him. So it's you who has to break this little guy's heart if you say no. I will tell you that I literally rode on the Ferris wheel frozen. My white knuckles were holding onto the bar in front of me, and my face plastered with the fakest smile that you have ever seen. I was terrified. It wasn't that I couldn't go on the Ferris wheel all those times. It was that I never wanted to go on it. We can do things that we don't think we can when the circumstances or the requests are big or important enough. We too many times let our fears, perhaps laziness, or even misunderstandings keep us from doing all that we can do. The Bible has many verses to remind us that we can, and not to give up into those I can't moments. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Or 2 Timothy 1:7 says, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Or how about 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. 1 John 4:4, ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Or Philippians 4:19 says, but my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ. Or Psalms 27:1, the Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? Or Mark 9:23, Jesus said unto him, if you canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Now I am in no way, shape, or form going to tell you that I hope to ever get on a Ferris wheel again anytime soon. Maybe never again, to be honest. That fear of heights is not gone away, but that fear of disappointing my grandson by not riding on it with him, that went out that day, of course. That I can't mentality was pushed aside, packed away, or as in our story said, buried, in order to give me the courage to go, and to give you the courage to go and do things that you think that you can't do. Find your list of can'ts. Get them out of your vocabulary. Write them down. Get them out of your mind and your heart. Put those negative and doubting thoughts aside and trust that you have the strength and the courage to do what you think you may not be able to do. Now, I am of course not telling you to gather together unsafely or unaware of the health issues that we're dealing with right now. That's obviously not smart nor something that I would ever want you to do. I don't want you to put yourself in harm. That doesn't, however, mean that you can't start working on that list already. That list of things that you can't do, and begin to work on how you can make things happen in moderation, or maybe how you can plan for them in the near future. Don't limit yourselves. Don't give up before you try. Don't let your worries stop you from trying things new and different. Let go of things you can think that you can't do, and find ways to appreciate things that you can and that you should do. Let's say a prayer together. Well, Lord, so many times we limit what we think and do in our lives. We allow ourselves to think that we can't when we really can. Help us to trust in ourselves a bit further, a bit differently, a bit less anxious, to help us to reach and stretch and try more than what we think we could and should. Thank you, dear Lord, for giving us the promise that you are with us at all times, when we think we can't and when actually we can. In your loving and caring name we pray. Amen. Okay, so again, welcome. Fun to see you. Rhonda's on board. Let's see. Mike, hey, great. The Christensens are here. Hey, Jeff, good to see you watching. Aiden, I need you to come on over. Okay, so once again, I'm at a site in Fargo-Moorhead. If you know where I'm at, go ahead and either call the church with the phone number, I don't have it with me, but Pearly Parish, or go on to their email, or you can send me a text message or a voicemail or whatever to tell me where I'm at, to put your name in the drawing so we can do a drawing. And then I had a special request to bring our new family member with, because I didn't get to bring him on Sunday to church. This is our new friend Asher. He's our new family member. He'll be 8 weeks old on...
My dog.
No, he's not your dog. 8 weeks old yesterday. So he's tons of fun. We've had him now since Saturday, and the cuteness is kind of not as easy as... It's a good thing he's cute, let's put it that way, because he's kind of getting to be a little stinker. But other than that, his face is so cute, you can't be mad at him, right? That's for sure. So please keep safe and well. Take care of yourselves. If you need something, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Just a reminder, the food shelf is open tomorrow from 5 to 7. So if you are in the Pearly area and need some groceries, please stop in there, or you know of somebody that needs something, stop in and see them as well. Sunday morning, we'll be worshiping at 9 o'clock. Oh, hey, Christy. Yeah, Aiden always says, nobody ever says hi to me. So, if you need food shelf, come to that. Otherwise, log in on Sunday morning at 9. And then don't forget to send in your guesses. So have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy this beautiful weather tonight. We're headed out to take care of Aiden's pig. So get to go hang out in that muddy pig pen and feed his pig spot. So, all right, God bless. Take care.